Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf. Today we're going to be doing another foundation wars, so I really hope you like these foundation reviews because there may be a couple in the next couple of weeks when foundations are released in the UK. Now this particular one has been available in the US for a couple of weeks at least now, maybe even a month, but this one doesn't get released in the UK until the 18th of April, which is just around the corner, and I managed to get my hands on this because one of the places that I shop at had this in stock already and was very kind to me. Anyway, I'm not going to mention who that is because they didn't want me to because they may get in trouble. Anyway, today we are going to be reviewing the brand new Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Stick Foundation, and we're going to be comparing it against the original Complexion Rescue Liquid. So let's just do a little bit of bump about this product and we can talk about the differences with this one. Okay, so this is the original Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream. Now, I don't think you'll find a Bare Minerals product that hasn't been flung an award at some point or another because they are excellent, and this is no exception. This won the Sunday Times Style Beauty Award in 2017. It's a really nice product. You get 35 mils worth in here for the grand price of £28 in the UK or $32 in the US. It's sheer to medium coverage. It's got a gel-like texture which is really cooling on the skin, and it's got an SPF of 30 in here, which is a mineral SPF. No chemicals whatsoever. So if you've got sensitive skin, this might be a really good one for you. So this has got a skin cooling sensation as soon as you put the product on your skin. And believe me, it does feel very cold, and it's extremely hydrating. So this has got marine botanicals in here. It's got great humectants in here, so it will seal all the moisture in your skin. And it's got coconut derived ingredients in there, which will really hydrate and nourish the skin as well. This has also got energizing electrolytes in here, which are calcium and magnesium to replenish the skin, and also potassium to protect the skin's moisture balance. This is non-comedogenic, so if you break out just by touching something like I do, then this might be a really good one for you. It's paraben-free, it's cruelty-free, and it's vegan. So let's just go through the differences between this foundation, the original Complexion Rescue, and the Complexion Rescue Stick Foundation. Now, apart from the obvious, which is they look completely different, this one is in a plastic bottle, this one is in a metal tube format. Both of them very travel friendly. You get 10 grams of product in here. Now I have no idea how long this is going to last you. Unlike the normal 30 mils that you get in a usual foundation, you get 35 mils of here, you get 10 grams here. So if any of you have had this for a long period of time and have used it every single day and know how long this is going to last, then please do update everybody in the comments section, because at the moment I have no idea how long this is going to last. So this is £29 in the UK, so £1 more expensive than the original Complexion Rescue, but in the US both of these are exactly the same cost at $32 each. This one does come in 4 more shades, however, so you get 20 shades in the Complexion Rescue Stick Foundation, whereas you only get 16 shades in the original Complexion Rescue Liquid. This one is a sheer to medium coverage. You can build this up if you want to. I think it looks really beautiful as a sheer coverage, whereas the stick foundation is medium buildable coverage. I think it's medium coverage on the lighter scale, and you can build this up to a more fuller medium coverage. The original Complexion Rescue has an SPF of 30, whereas the Stick Foundation only has an SPF of 25. Both of them are mineral sunscreens, so like I said before, non-chemical sunscreens. If you've got sensitive skin, that might be a great thing for you. And that's it for the differences. So everything else in this Stick Foundation is exactly the same as I mentioned for the original Complexion Rescue earlier in the video. Let's get some of this on my face. So it's just after 9 AM in the Pampered Wolf household. Both kids are downstairs happily playing because it's the start of the Easter holidays, so they are off for the next 2 weeks. Just brace yourselves though, by the way. This might be a little bit of a noisy video because I guarantee they will fall out in the next 30 minutes or so. This is my life. Anyway, they are happy at the moment. I do have my skincare already on my face, and I've given that plenty of time to sink into my skin before I'm applying the foundations to my skin. as per usual. So we're going to put the original Complexion Rescue on this side of my face, and we're going to put the brand new Complexion Rescue Stick Foundation on this side of my face so we can compare and contrast. Let's get on with it. So the original one is going on this side of my face. I have had huge failures and huge joys with this foundation in the past, because although this is classed as a tinted moisturizer, a lot of people do use this as a foundation because it is buildable. But if you try and put too much on right at the first go, it's a mess. It's a powdery, patchy mess. So you have to be very, very careful with this. Like I said, I've had huge fails with this, and then had days where I've had perfect makeup days, and it's all about application. So I'm just gonna squeeze some onto the back of my hand. You will see it is an extremely stiff formula. It's very gel-like, very cooling on the skin. And I'm just gonna apply it with a ZOEVA 103 Define Buffing Brush because I have two of these, so I'm not going to use my new brush today, which I don't have two of. And I'm just going to pop that on with a brush. Now it does say that this applies better with the fingers. I haven't had that experience. I really haven't. I think this applies beautifully with a brush, but if you follow the directions, you will be applying this with your fingers. It's such a beautiful foundation if you apply it right. And it's so cooling on the skin. My face is now cold. It feels very, very refreshing. Even though this is a tinted moisturizer, I'm not going to apply it underneath my eye because I don't with any foundations or even tinted moisturizers. I'm just going to build this up slightly on this side. It's really, really easy to build up to medium coverage. When I first bought this foundation, one of the ladies who was on the Bare Minerals counter was actually wearing this. Her skin looked unbelievable. Unbelievable. And she got a really decent coverage just by using this as well. But again, you must build this up really slowly, otherwise you get into a little bit of a patchy mess. So I've left it sheer coverage in some places and I've built it up to more of a high sheer to low medium coverage in other places, like where I've got my acne scarring around here, and it just looks really nice on my skin. Just going to put a tiny bit more on my chin, and then we're going to get on with applying the stick foundation. Now, I was telling you about the lady that I actually bought this from in the first place, whose skin looked absolutely amazing. Her tip, if you do have an oily T-zone, is just to take some of the powder foundation that they've got, the Bare Pro powder. It's pressed, not the loose powder, the Bare Pro pressed powder, and just put a swipe of that down the middle of your face just to set this in place. It adds a tiny little bit more coverage, but it also adds a lot of longevity to the foundation / tinted moisturizer. And that's what she'd done that day, and her skin just looked amazing. Really lovely. Have I mentioned that before? Her skin looked gorgeous. Just to repeat again. Okay, so that's a really, really good match for my natural skin colour. And this is in the shade 1.5, which is Birch. And I think that is the perfect match for me. So let's move on to the stick foundation. Let me just take the rest of this off the back of my hand. I don't have a tissue. I'm gonna go and have to get one. Very unorganised this morning. One sec. Okay, so let's get on with the stick foundation on this side of my face. This is exactly the same shade, and they do say if you're wanting to find out what shade you are, just go with exactly the same shade that you are with the original Complexion Rescue. These are not the same as all their other foundations. So if you have the Bare Pro, for example, you're not going to be the same shade in the stick foundation as you are in the Bare Pro. So only the Complexion Rescue is a direct comparison. Let's get some of this on the face. Okay, it's actually quite thick and creamy. Let's just see if we can blend that out. Okay, really easy to blend. It's a really nice consistency. Doesn't go powdery like the YSL stick foundation. I find is quite a powdery formula, very, very dry. This one is much creamier. Still very easy to blend. Gives a nice coverage. Now my skin at the moment, I must warn you, is drier than the Sahara in places. For some reason, all of a sudden, I've got really dry cheeks. I have been spending a lot more time outside. I've been working in the garden over the last few days, so that might be the reason, but we have to bear that in mind, that my skin isn't how it usually would be when I'm doing a foundation review and wear test. There are a lot more dry areas on my face. Just gonna build this up a little bit in areas. So easy to blend out, really, really easy to blend. I don't feel like I need to build that up massively to get the amount of coverage. And it's slightly more of a natural finish. This isn't super dewy, this is more of a natural matte finish to it. I don't feel overly shiny on this side of my face, whereas on this side, it does look like I do have a tinted moisturiser on, you know, with the pores are slightly exaggerated on the original Complexion Rescue side. That is a really, really nice finish. It just looks very natural, very smooth on the skin. It looks like my skin, but a better version of my skin. Now it's still slightly tacky. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to cope with that all day. I'm gonna apply the rest of my products though. We're gonna see how everything blends out, whether I actually do need powder for everything to blend. And I'm gonna be right back. Okay, so this is the finished look for today. I just wanted something quite natural so I could run around with the kids and not have to worry about it too much. I've got to say that I am a little bit surprised at the outcome of both of these foundations. So the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue, which is on this side of my face, this is a tinted moisturiser / can be built up to be a foundation. So you would think because it was a tinted moisturiser, it would moisturise my skin and hydrate it a lot more and possibly not sit in my drier areas as much as a stick foundation would, and actually I have the opposite effect. So on this side of my face I do have some dryness on my cheek area, and the Complexion Rescue has sat in that and looks a little bit patchy. This is a powder within a gel format, and I do think that that's why you can have some serious disasters if you try and apply too much at one time, because all the powder sort of coagulates and sits on the skin in one area, and then you get a lot of gel in the other areas, and it just looks patchy and nasty. If you apply this right, it can look absolutely beautiful, but unfortunately on me today, it's gone a little bit patchy around my cheek area where it's clung to those drier areas. On this side, just flawless. Absolutely flawless. The stick foundation is also very hydrating. My skin feels beautiful, absolutely beautiful, just as nice as the original Complexion Rescue side, and this is supposed to boost the hydration of the skin by up to 200%. So very, very hydrating formula, and this has the same formula in there. It's just slightly better coverage with less product, which I think is very, very nice. Sits on the skin really nicely, just evens everything out. It hasn't sank into any fine lines or started to split in any way. I really like it. I'm going to show you this in natural lighting. I'll see you in just a second. Okay, so this is what the foundation looks like in natural lighting. This is the original Complexion Rescue liquid side, whereas this side is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue stick foundation, if I'm being completely honest. I much prefer the stick foundation side at this moment in time. If I zoom you in on my cheek area on the original Complexion Rescue, you will see that it has sank into my drier areas and gone a little bit patchy. Looks quite powdery in places, like the powder within the liquid has clumped around my drier areas. It's just not as flattering as it usually is, and that's because I've got a lot more dry skin than normal. If you have a look on the Complexion Rescue stick foundation side, there's none of that going on, and I do have exactly the same dry areas on this side of my face as I do on the other side, and it's just not sat in those drier areas at all. It looks absolutely beautiful. I'm just hoping this is going to last all day. I'm hoping it's not going to slide off my face, because at the moment it looks so natural and so beautiful and so skin-like. I'm really happy with it. Anyway, I'm going to check out, I will check in with you a little bit later on and let you know how this foundation is getting on. So I'll see you all in a bit. Hi everybody, welcome back to the check-in. It's now been just over 8 hours since I first applied both foundations to my face, and they've done surprisingly well, considering one of them is a tinted moisturiser and the other one is an extremely hydrating foundation stick. You wouldn't expect them to last a long time. Anyway, they were perfect for around about 4 hours. And then the natural oils came through and softened all the dryness on the original Complexion Rescue side. As you can see, there's some shininess around my nose. There's definitely shininess on my chin. Some of the product has disappeared. Some of the product has disappeared off the end of my nose and between my brows as well. So it's not lasted perfectly after 8 hours. It started to disintegrate a little bit after 4 hours. So this is definitely not long wearing. But let me tell you, it is definitely hydrating. So if you do have dry skin, I highly recommend the foundation stick side, because this side has lasted just as long as the Complexion Rescue side, but this did not settle in any of my dryness, and it hasn't settled into any of my fine lines. So definitely a good one, but again, it's not a long wearing foundation. Feels beautiful though. I did have to set both of these foundations in place before I applied all the rest of my products, because the foundations did feel quite tacky to the touch. So you do need to bear that in mind before you purchase either of these foundations. They are vegan, they are cruelty free, they are paraben free, and the SPF in there is a non-chemical SPF. It is mineral SPF, so if that's what you're looking for, then this might be the foundation for you. It's definitely a hydrating foundation. I'm not sure this would be suitable for anybody with oily skin. I think this would just fly off oily skin like no tomorrow. But for anybody with dry skin, I think this would be a good foundation to have, as long as you're not wanting to put it on first thing in the morning and look the same last thing at night, because that, if it wears anything like it has on me, is not going to happen. It's definitely gone very shiny on both sides, and it has rubbed off in quite a few areas, even though I did powder it in place. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please do give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget, I'm also on Instagram if you want to follow me on there as well. It's at Pampered Wolf, all lowercase, no spaces. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave. There is a watermark in this corner. If you click on it, it will take you through to my homepage where you can subscribe. Hope to see you all again soon. Bye.